Hi, everybody. I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi here in our live show talking about U.S. immigration, taking your questions live on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. General educational purposes only about U.S. immigration, and we'll do our best to give you a general kind of answer so you have an understanding of what's going on in the immigration system. Quick note for those watching the live show, we do provide free video consultation giveaway, 3 free consultations, 15 minutes, preferably by video so we can see each other and we can discuss your case to see what's going on in private and go into more detail then. Again, this is only for those watching live. All you got to do is like and subscribe, and in the comments section, write consultation so my wonderful assistant Katrina could know who the winner is and then choose one actually, and tell me behind the scenes, and I'll name them off every 10 minutes till the end of the 30-minute show, which again, we're on 6 p.m. Pacific time every Wednesday. Other than that, if you're interested in the marriage green card, the fiance visa, that kind of stuff, download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide. It's the best way to learn about the process before you even talk with an attorney. You can download that at marriageimmigrationlaw.com. Again, that's marriageimmigrationlaw.com, the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide. It's going to help a lot of you get a better understanding of what's going on in this whole system. Having said all that, let's get the show started. All right, so we had a couple questions popping up. First and foremost on Instagram. Let's see, what are they saying on Instagram? They're asking, Peachy asks, is the citizenship interview easy? Well, easy is such a relative term. I can't really answer that. It depends on your situation. The basics for a U.S. citizenship interview after filing Form N-400 are there's 100 questions you got to practice, and they'll ask you up to 10 of them. You got to get 6 right. Is that easy? Well, frankly, it's easy for me. But my grandma memorized the questions, and she barely speaks English, so it's not hard. You just got to try. And your English, you got to be able to basically speak English. So for some people, that's hard. Some people, it's easy. And it really depends. For people from the UK who are UK or British citizens, it's much easier because they already speak English. But if you come from a background where you don't speak English, you got to learn it. It becomes more hard. So it really depends on your personal circumstances. And the core of it, when I help people with a citizenship case, is the legal issues that could come up that people aren't aware of that they get denied for. Long absences outside the United States, having arrest history, getting benefits from the government they weren't supposed to, potentially voting or registering your vote when they shouldn't have, not registering with a civil service draft when they're supposed to, not having proper tax paperwork. All these different kinds of things pop up that I got to be mindful of. So that's complicated, and that's why for citizenship, at the very least, I recommend talking with a good attorney who's thorough to talk about U.S. citizenship. Now, a lot of times people contact me and other lawyers and say, how much is citizenship? But that doesn't really get to what I'm doing here. At the very least, and most of the time, I just need a consultation where we go from the beginning when you're born and follow your life year by year by year until now to see if we could identify problems that could happen for citizenship. And in some cases, the problems are so big where it's best the person does not file for citizenship and just keep the green card because it's too risky to apply for citizenship. So my role in that becomes like just learning the facts and then identifying issues that could pop up to say, hey, you made a mistake here. You accidentally voted. If you file for citizenship, then that's going to lead you down the road of deportation. And you take with it what you will, and that becomes a problem. So these are things to be mindful of for citizenship. It becomes hard for them, but generally it is an easy process. And again, a lot of times people come for citizenship asking what the price is. I say, listen, you may not need an attorney to help you with the citizenship case. You just need me to review things to make sure there's no problems that you can do on your own. Now, secondarily, there's problems that happen, difficulties, where the government forgets to send you a notice for your interview, for example, and you miss your interview, and they blame you for not getting it. But if I'm the lawyer, I'm supposed to get a copy of everything as well. Or a client moves and doesn't tell the government, as the attorney that's on the case, I could understand and know this stuff. So that's a long answer to is it easy? Generally, yes. For most people, statistically, it's easy. But for some, it's not. And I need to know more information about your background and be able to answer that to the way it attaches to you. But thanks for the question. I'm glad I'm able to do that. All right, next question from Rohan asks, my wife's case was CR1. That's when you get a green card and based on marriage, and marriage less than 2 years old. And we got married on August 13, 2020. Now her category is IR1. She is still waiting for interview and no news. Should we file mandamus? What's your opinion? You're saying digestion instead, but you mean opinion. Well, first of all, a CR1 is if your green card is issued within 2 years of getting married. In this case, it's been more than 2 years. So now the conditions are gone. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do anything. Now, with regards to the delay, I don't know where your case is, which if it's the embassy, it's probably in USCIS, I'm guessing. 2 years is a little bit longer. I don't know the details of your case. Mandamus lawsuit, essentially a lawsuit to tell the government, hurry up. That may be an option. I mean, that's up to you if you want to do that. First, I need to know the facts of the case to see if it warrants that and there's issues that exist. But that may be an option if you're tired of waiting and you've already complained to USCIS, you can complain to a congressperson, then maybe looking into filing a lawsuit may be something to look at. Mo asks, what happens if wife on a 2-year green card decides to leave the house and ask for divorce? Well, you go for divorce, and she'll need to get her 2-year green card, the conditional green card I saw earlier, into a permanent 10-year green card. It's possible. It's called a waiver-based Form I-751 application for removal of conditions. She needs to show that the relationship was real that she got into, but unfortunately, you got divorced. Then it's possible for her to keep the green card, and that's that. Unless the government doesn't believe her, they think you got into a relationship, like not real, like it's like a fake relationship or something like that. It's probably not going to happen. It's a good chance your wife's just going to keep her green card. It's just a lot of paperwork, and these are the kind of cases you need to have a lawyer for because it gets pretty messy, and so you want to watch out for that. But that's the situation. A lot of times when the divorce happens, your relationship's bad. The U.S. spouse gets frustrated, doesn't want to help them, but it is possible for them to continue the application based on, again, this waiver-based Form I-751. Next question from Moshe asks, when applying for a B2, a tourist visa, my mom filed the application answering one question that we don't know where's my dad is. I was 16 or 17 at the time. Will I be inadmissible while being a beneficiary on my dad's I-130? That we just threw another, Moshe, this is a way too complex situation. So your mom filed for a tourist visa, and you said you don't know she doesn't know where her husband is, essentially, your dad, and you're 16, 17. And now, will you be admissible for being a beneficiary of dad's I-130? That's just a lot going on. This is something that you got to talk with the attorney in private about to see what's going on there. Sorry, man, we got to go next question. Mo, as to case specific. Mo asks, my girlfriend got her F1 student visa last week. Can I go to Iran and engage her? Does that cancel or violate the F1 visa? It doesn't cancel the F1 visa. Mo, this is too case specific. You really need to talk with attorney in private to see what's going on. What is your status? How does that affect it? If she got a student visa, she comes to school here and you get engaged. It's too case specific, Mo. It's just not information we're trying to get at. I need more facts on both of you, so I can't help you with that. Just try to consult with the attorney in private. Mom Sue asks, can I request the FOIA, Freedom of Information Act request for my visa application? That happened approximately 8 years ago. Yeah, you could always do that. Now, visa application, I'm assuming you mean you're with the Department of State. You could request that. At most, they give you a DS-160 or DS-260. If they give that, they're really not helpful in giving a lot of information for you, the Department of State, but, it's worth a shot. Let me take a couple questions on Instagram. We have one here from Roham. Asks, my wife is a pharmacist doctor, and she has the IR1 case pending. Can she apply for a J1 visa? She could always give it a shot, but it's not recommended. First of all, they're probably going to deny her J1 visa because she has a case pending. J1 is a culture exchange visitor, but also it could be education stuff. Many times when doctors come to the United States on a J1, they become subject to what's called a 2-year home residency requirement. I don't know all the details of what kind of program she would be coming with and based on what background, so I can't say that for sure in your case. But that makes it, questionable and something we really want to analyze before we go through a step applying for J1. Hey, it might be approved, but then again, who knows when you're going to get an interview? And so there's a lot going on there, and maybe something to look at. But you got to weigh your options, and these stuff are a lot of questions here are way too case specific. I can't really answer them properly without really going to your life and stuff like that, which you can't do here. Imran, I want to announce our winner. It's been around 10 minutes now. It's only 9 minutes, but we'll announce our winner. Moshe, you had asked a question about the B2 application for your mom and the I-130. You won. Take a screenshot of where you're watching this and email it to me so I can see your username so I know it's you in the top right corner of the app you're watching or wherever. And email it to me at info@jqklaw.com, and I'll reply with information on scheduling the private consultation. For those who are just tuning in on this live show, in the live feed, we give away free video consultations, 15-minute video consultations. All you got to do is like and subscribe and write consultation in the comment section. We just had a winner, Moshe, and we have 2 more in 10 minutes and 20 minutes. We'll name them off. Another question on Instagram, Imran asks, we have heard the green card interviews are waived off for marriage-based for those applicants whose marriage is over 2 years. Is that true? No, that's bad information. Maybe randomly there'll be very few people, and it's not based on the 2 year or anything like that. The office that you're having an interview with may cancel or just not do an interview, but almost all the time there is an interview. There's this fascination people who have a green card case have is with their interview being waived. That rarely happens, and if it does, it's not necessarily a good thing. You want to go to the interview as knowing as it could be because you want to double check the paperwork with the officer so mistakes aren't there. Also, if you've done the initial green card interview, later on, this is for cases who are still within 2 years, not married those 2 years. It may help avoid the removal of conditions interview. So, but again, I like going to the interview, not because I like it per se, but I want to go over the applications with the officer so there's no mistakes there or something that can come back and be problematic later. So I've just seen that kind of stuff happen. Next question is from Itzrajanu. If my mom, who is a permanent resident, files for me, how long does it usually take to get a work permit? I'm 24. Okay, so the work permit is not what you're looking for a green card. If your mom is over 24, is going to file for you. If you're over 24 and you're single, you're in the F2B category, probably going to take like 70 years to even get a green card. Now, whether you get a work permit, it really depends. Like if you're in the United States, you need to maintain status for these 7 years. So that's when you get a work permit fast if you're in the United States. But how are you going to maintain status for such a long period of time? You're probably going to be outside the United States. And when you get a green card to come in, that green card is a work permit as well. So it's not the proper way to look at how the process happens. So I really recommend talking with an attorney in private so you have a better understanding of what the immigration process entails because there is some misunderstanding there. Paranoid Android, one of our regulars asked, which is the easiest, fastest for approved I-140 EB adjustment of status or consular processing? So that's the next question that's going to pop up right now. The reality is it depends. It's different for different things. So for example, sometimes adjustment of status is faster, sometimes it's slower. This year it's gone faster. There are years where it's been very slow. Some offices are faster, some are slower, depending on the case. If you're going through the embassy route, sometimes, for not the last 2 or 3 years, but before COVID, the consular processing, the embassy route was much preferred. We would have cases where people could do adjustment of status, but the problems, so it depends on your situation. So you don't always want to look at the fastest or the easiest because it depends. So if you're in the United States, you have an approved I-140 for employment base, and you want to apply for a green card, once you file for adjustment of status, you're locked in the United States. But many times, people who have an EB-1A green card in particular, these are people with extraordinary abilities. Might be famous artists, for example, who need to tour the world. Well, they can't be locked into the United States because they need to travel. So doing adjustment of status doesn't make sense for them. And even if consular processing will take longer and it's more annoying, it just makes sense because it won't be locked into the United States. There's other factors we got to consider. And a lot of times, all the time, when I'm doing consultation with people, again, people contact me and say, how much does it cost, this and that? It's like, no, cost is one thing, but we're really trying to fine tune the process to what makes sense in your life and adjust it to that. So yeah, if you want to do consular processing, it depends. For even right now, if you're from Pakistan, it might take 2 years or 3 years for your consular processing to happen. That same case in Sweden could take 3 or 4 months. So there's more layers and layers of factors we got to take into consideration for this before we could make a decision on what's the fastest or easiest, because it really depends on your situation. Again, as I said, in Pakistan, embassy is backed up over a year or two for waiting just to get an embassy interview. And that's for people married to U.S. citizen, a number one priority type case. But how is it going to work in Sweden? Sweden is much faster. And I've worked with them and it's like this. And so it's just because they're less busy, frankly. That's why it's like that. So that's the long and short of it. It really depends on the facts of your specific case and what you need to do so we can adjust the laws to where you're at. Thank you for your question. Good to see you again, Parent Android. And thanks for the comments on the old videos. Mo asks, do we both attend an interview if divorced? No, not. I mean, if you're divorced and you don't want to participate, no, it's up to you what you want to do. Serum asks, I was wondering if all the EB-1 based adjustment of status applications were approved before September 30th, receipt dated June 2022. I don't keep track of these cases. It's not something they publicly give out. So other than USCIS, no one has that info. And even USCIS's systems don't keep good track of these kind of things. Harpreet asks, I have an advanced parole, but I have a misdemeanor. Can I travel? I don't know. It depends on what the misdemeanor is. Even if you can't travel when you return, they're going to hold you in a second room to review advanced parole and take more time you're doing the misdemeanor. But just tell me you have a misdemeanor does not give me enough information, because there's so many different types of misdemeanors as a criminal offense. It really depends on the facts of what it is. You need to talk with an attorney in private. And even that, whatever attorney tells you, they have discretion at the port of entry where they could hassle you. And they may misinterpret the law and hassle you, not let you in, for example. So there's risks involved here. You got to see how important it is for your travel. Advanced parole, for those who are watching don't know, is when you have, there's different ways of this, but primarily is when you have a green card case pending for adjustment of status in the United States, you apply for advanced parole because you cannot travel when you have an adjustment of status case pending. I just got an email from a poor gentleman, very somewhat famous guy as well. His lawyer didn't tell them that they couldn't do advanced parole, and they left the United States to have a wedding party. And then lawyer emailed them, say, "Oh, sorry, I made a mistake. You can't travel on advanced parole." Now they're stuck outside redoing the whole immigration process. Probably going to take them 2 years to get this done. Very sad situation. But the rule is, when you do an adjustment of status, a green card application in the United States, with exceptions, if you have an H-1B, you have an L-1, there's always exceptions to everything I say, but you can't travel unless you get the advanced parole, and it takes a while to get. But even if you get it, it's not a guarantee that you come back to the United States. So you only want to use it sparingly. Some lawyers, or colleagues of mine, will not apply for advanced parole trial permissions for their clients. I'm against that. I'm like, I always file for it. It's free application, additional filing fees, but it doesn't make sense to not file for it, because who knows? People have emergencies in their lives. They need to be able to travel. Not getting them for them is too maternalistic to me. I don't think it's appropriate. I seriously don't think it's appropriate, and it gets me annoyed when people don't do that, because I've had cases where people, their lawyers didn't get the advanced parole for them, and then their parent, their dad, example, one guy, his dad died, and he couldn't go to see his dad on his deathbed because he didn't have advanced parole, because the lawyer was afraid that the client will abuse the advanced parole, go out and not be able to come back in or something like that. Very idiotic in my opinion, but a lot of lawyers have that opinion, and I get very heated because I've seen so many disasters because lawyers not doing this. But we'll leave that for another time. The short answer is, I don't know enough about your case to be able to answer that, but risks exist. Mo follows, and Mo said, I ask, what are the cases that we can ask for expedite on K-1 visa? The question is not properly worded, but essentially you could always ask for an expedite request on all cases. Whether they approve it or not, that's up to USCIS, but you can always try requesting an expedite. That's the long and short of it. Thank you, Mo. Nadego asks, hi, John. Thank you for your fidelity. Thank you. I already have my interview for asylum, but no answer since December 2021. Can I ask for travel document? Well, the reality is I don't handle asylum cases, so I don't want to talk about that too long. You can always ask for travel documents. There are issues with it. When you have an asylum case, you're not supposed to use your passport, so you have to get a refugee travel document, but I'm not sure if they'll issue a refugee travel document because you're not an asylee yet, because you haven't been approved yet. And you could try with advanced parole, but again, use passport, which you're not supposed to. That could be problematic. And you might get stuck outside. It may not even approve the advanced parole. So there's a lot of things going on there. It's not something I'd really want you to do to travel. But again, I'm not an expert on asylum. My office hasn't handled an asylum case in over 10 years. So I want to limit how much I talk about something. That's not my main expertise. So next question, Abdullah asks, I'm married to a U.S. citizen, got a conditional green card, then divorced, applied for I-751 waiver without my ex-wife to sign it. As 3 years have passed since the first green card is issued, then I married again. Okay. And then you follow up, can I apply for now the citizenship, or I have to wait for 5 years? The question of whether you can file for citizenship after 3 years if you got an I-751 approved based on a waiver is something I'm not positive about. I have colleagues who said you can. The issue hasn't come on my cases, so I don't know the exact rules on it. But in your kind of case, I don't have direct. This is something I have to research. It hasn't popped up from one of my cases. I've thought about it, but I don't have an exact answer to say. If you have an I-751 waiver base, means you're separated or divorced, can you still do the 3 year instead of the 5 year citizenship application? I've had a colleague say yes, but I haven't been able to find that in the statute myself. Maybe I got to study it more, so I don't have an exact answer, to be honest with you, about that. I'll be straightforward. But thanks for your question. I'm sorry that you're going through that divorce. Pedro Andrew follows up, why does USCIS grant advanced parole if there's a chance that just a pending applicant may be denied? Sounds like a trap. Yeah, this part of immigration doesn't make sense. Usually, very rarely are people not allowed to return on advanced parole. It's usually if you have serious criminal stuff, you have a health situation that's dangerous or something. Again, it's usually criminal kind of stuff that gets you, and they don't do the research, so it's up to people, but they should know better, really. But hey, it's just the way it goes. Shafiqullah asks, I filed an I-485 adjustment status on August 3rd. I'm an Afghan approved SIV. How long does it take to get a green card? I don't know. The timelines vary. I think they're very slow, but I don't handle SIV cases, so I don't keep track of the timelines for that. Nadia says, thank you. You're welcome. Marvin says, hey, John, I've been here since I was 10, caught a misdemeanor charge when I was 19. I'm 39 now. Do I have other options besides marriage? Marvin, that's just way too broad a question. There's just all of immigration land options may be available to you. It depends on your situation. Probably very limited for you to do something. Maybe file for DACA. I'm not sure if you can file for DACA with a misdemeanor. I don't know the exact details. I would need to see the charging documents with the police department, the arrest record, the conviction record with the court to see what's going on, to see even if you can file for deferred action for child arrivals. Even marriage may not work if the misdemeanor is serious enough. So this is too case specific. I can't really answer that, but that's about it. Okay. Abdullah follows up. I'm currently married to a U.S. citizen, but not the same. I applied to get the green card through. So Abdullah, I really, really hope you had an attorney help you, a good attorney, on your I-751 removal condition application. By getting remarried to, it makes it super messy. That they're going to mistrust the case potentially. I strongly recommend you have an attorney on something like that. It's pretty complicated. But to get the 3-year, it's the typical rule is outside of your situation is that you be married and living with your U.S. citizen spouse for 3 years. If there's no way you're married to your current spouse for 3 years, so that version of that option wouldn't work. But again, that larger issue that you have, I don't have an option for. Imran asks, I like your session. When will you have a next session? Well, we have our lives, the Q&A lives, every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific time for those tuning in, and we'll take it there. I do want to name another winner, Lemon Skewer. You had posted on YouTube, said Consultation. Please take a screenshot of where you're watching this and email me, and we could set up a free video consultation. Please briefly describe the immigration issue that you have. Your email, Lemon Secure, or Scare, what was it? Lemon Skewer. And we'll take it from there. Thank you. That was our second winner of our free raffle lottery. For those tuning in to the live show, we give away 3 consultations. We got 1 more left to give in 10 minutes. And you get a free video consultation for watching live and liking and subscribing and writing consultation in the description. And before we get back to questions, I want to remind everybody, if you're interested in getting a fiance case, a marriage case, really the first thing you should do is learn the situation, learn the regulation, the rules. You should go to marriageimmigrationlaw.com. There's an ebook, a guide I wrote called The Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide. You can download it again. The website is www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com. And that breaks down the A to Z of the process, 40 plus pages, a lot of help there. I do need to update it because some of the forms have changed, but overall, it gets you the idea what you need there. Best thing out there you'll find on this topic. You'll enjoy it. So that's that. Let's get back to questions. Regular asks, hi, my case has been at the National Visa Center for 21 months. What can we do? So Regular, first of all, did you get documentarily qualified? So we need confirmation of that. But secondly, which embassy is it? 21 months is a long time. You could try contacting a local congressperson and say, hey, this is taking too long. Please help. But it's hard. The final thing to do, which probably is going to end up, if you want to do that, is to hire an attorney to sue the government for this delay and say it's taking too long. It's not fair. How can we get this sped up? And really you sue them and you take it from there. And that's the best option. Unfortunately, a lot of the embassies are super backed up. I'm dealing with a lot of cases from Nigeria right now, and I talk with colleagues who have other Nigerian cases as well. They're saying 2 years processing time is easy for that or more. Ghana, same thing. So there's a lot of issues going around. Jackie asks, sir, I'm a U.S. green card and a husband has 10-year green card. How soon can he apply for citizenship? He waits 5 years after he has a green card. I have a detailed video on YouTube on this. Type in YouTube, JQK Law, citizenship time. You'll get the answer. What's the processing time for N400 resident California? California has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different field offices, if not 10 field offices. Each of them process differently. And within each office, each case has a different kind of timeline. So there's no real answer to your question about how long an N400 is going to take anywhere in the country. Maybe 3 months, maybe a year and a half. Take it as you will, maybe longer. Spike asks, is an interview waiver for green card application applies to DV lottery applicants? No. If you're doing the green card lottery, who knows? USCIS might waive it. Who knows? But I would not expect. I would not expect any case to have the interview waived in general. But especially not a green card lottery case. So just take it that as you will. Let's see. Let me go to TikTok. We're having some technical difficulties, so I'm missing a lot of TikTok questions right now. Let me just pull it up and start asking some questions there. Let's see. Shafiq asks, can we travel with a green card without having a passport? No, you need a passport. I'm a U.S. resident. We asked that question. Jake asks, can we travel? I don't. Yeah, get your passport. The other countries, you need a passport. Just the basics. It is what it is. But thank you for that. Regular says, how can we sue the government? So I talked about these delays. It's right, Katrina, no problem. These delays that are happening, the embassy to file a lawsuit. How can we sue the government? Well, the best thing is just hire a lawyer. And my firm doesn't handle lawsuits. Maybe in January we're going to start. So it's not something I'm to say, go talk to a lawyer, so you hire me. But it's regular. Usually it's not something you should do on your own. You get a lawyer and they tell you how to sue. That's the way to go about that. NG asks, green card lottery came without visa, but asylum case pending on the court. Your question isn't clear, but if you haven't maintained immigration status in some way or fashion, and there's no way to adjust status if you won the green card lottery, you have to leave the United States and do consular processing. Potentially, you may become subject to the 10-year ban or 3 or 10-year ban. So a lot of timelines, a lot of issues could pop up there. Paranoid Andrew asks, Attorney Khosravi, you need to start a merch line of t-shirts that say, don't ask about the timeline. It's very true. I calmed down a lot. I remember I've been doing this show for, I don't know, 3 years now or something like that. I see 2020, I started 2020, probably 2 years, 2.5 years. And I remember I used to get really annoyed because when there was a time where every question was like, how long, no matter how many times I say, I don't have an answer for that, they just kept coming. And so I had an assistant come in who would weed out the questions where people are asking how long. I think people have heard it and got the message. So it's gone 10% of what it was of what people asking how long does this start. But now so I'm much more patient with this question because I don't have to answer as much as I used to. Regular asks, how much is to file a lawsuit? Law isn't like buying chips or something like that. It's not like how much. It really depends on your case, your situation, and the firm you're dealing with. So you really should talk with the attorney in private. It's not somebody that says this much or that much. It just varies. It's different. But thank you for your question. Manny asks, my wife approved her I-1 visa. Should I pay the fee before she travels or after she arrives? So this is very important. If you get a green card through the embassy and you get an immigrant visa issued in your passport, you 100%, 100 million% should pay the fee before entering the United States. So there's a $220 fee to get the green card printed after your immigrant visa, which is going to lead to a green card, is approved through the embassy. You want to log into the site, have your alien number there, have your case number there, input it, and pay the fee by credit card, which is how it works usually, and pay it before you enter the United States. And upon entering the United States, it triggers the issuance of the green card, hopefully. A lot of times they lose it and stuff like that, but it is what it is. But that's the way to go on that. Stanley asks, why TPS takes so long? Why does the government take so long? A lot of these things are easy. I have no idea, but that's the way it is. We'll take one more question. How long does it take for marriage interview in Pakistan? True, that. Good luck. There's no answer to that one. And we'll take a question on. Okay, so why yes? Yes. If you have a marriage green card case, any green card case in Pakistan, be prepared to wait at least 1 or 2 years, probably more like 2 years. Hopefully not longer, but their case is hitting the 2-year mark, just the way it is. And then Muad asks, hi, I have an immigration interview for application N400. I don't have the required period days inside the United States. Do you advise me to respond to go to the interview or go ahead to postpone it? You're going to fail if you don't satisfy the physical presence requirement for citizenship. You should never have filed the case. You just wasted your money and your time. You can withdraw your case if you know that's the case and don't bother. So that's, again, I started the show talking about citizenship. A person asked, is it easy to file for citizenship? Yeah, it's easy, but if you don't satisfy the requirements and you file, well, if you paid an attorney to tell you that at the beginning, would have saved you a lot more money than the filing fee and the time waiting to actually get to where you're at right now. So talk with an attorney in private to see what's going on with your case. If you don't satisfy the requirements, you're going to get denied. Maybe you should withdraw it. But again, I'm not your lawyer. I can't advise you on what to do on your individual case. You should have an individual consultation to get into that. I want to thank everyone who joined. Mo Sadiqian, you requested a consultation. Let's add you to the mix. All you got to do is all you got to do is take a screenshot of where you're watching this and email it to me at info@jqklaw.com. And we can schedule a short chat to talk about your situation, what's going on, Mo. Hope you're still watching to catch that. Thank you, everyone else. I know we got a couple questions coming in, but we hit the half-hour mark. I want to thank you all. I'll be back again next Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific times. We are every week, almost every week. Sometimes we have some stuff pop up, but YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. We're here to take your questions. God bless everybody. Good night. 29 Super C. Thanks for coming on. Good night to you as well. I'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.